We live in an era defined by breathtaking change. The world our children are growing up in is not the same one we knew in our own youth. Technology evolves faster than we can update our devices. Global events ripple across continents in seconds. Climate challenges, shifting economies, cultural transformations, and an ever-connected digital reality are reshaping childhood itself. Our kids are surrounded by opportunities and obstacles, possibilities and pressures, all at once. And in such a time, the question before us is both urgent and timeless: how do we raise resilient kids in a changing world? Resilience. The word comes from the Latin resolire, to leap back, to spring forth. It is not about never falling, it is about rising when we do. It is not about shielding our children from every storm, it is about equipping them to navigate the winds with courage and purpose. Resilience is not a shield of steel, it is a living root that bends in the storm yet digs deeper into the soil. If there is one gift we can give our children, greater than wealth, greater than knowledge, greater than comfort, it is resilience. Because resilience is what allows them to meet the unknown not with fear, but with confidence, not with despair, but with hope, not with fragility, but with strength. Let us pause to recognize the reality. Our kids are inheriting a world of dazzling possibility, one where information is abundant, global connections are instant, and opportunities span continents. But alongside these gifts come challenges that previous generations never faced in the same way. They are growing up in a digital landscape where self-worth can be tied to likes and shares. They face climate uncertainty that colors their vision of the future. They see a news cycle filled with conflict, polarization, and instability. They feel the weight of expectations, to achieve, to compete, to perform. This is not a reason for despair, it is a call for preparation. For while we cannot control the tides of change, we can prepare our children to swim. While we cannot predict the storms, we can raise children who know how to set their sails. Resilience is not about being untouched by hardship. It is not about pretending everything is fine when it is not. True resilience is about facing difficulty honestly, learning from it, and moving forward stronger. Think of a tree in a strong wind. If it is too rigid, it snaps. If it is too shallow, it topples. But the tree that bends and roots itself deeply into the earth survives and grows. That is resilience. For our children, resilience will mean the emotional resilience to face disappointment without losing hope, the social resilience to build relationships, repair conflicts, and thrive in community, the intellectual resilience to adapt to new knowledge, question assumptions, and remain curious in uncertainty, the moral resilience to stand by values even when tested. How do we raise resilient kids? Raising resilient children is not the work of one parent, one teacher, or one program. It is the collective labor of love by families, schools, and societies. Let us explore the foundations. 1. Teach them to embrace failure as a teacher. In our culture, we often treat failure as the end of the road. Children fear the red mark on the test paper, the missed shot in the game, the rejection from an opportunity. But failure is not the enemy. Failure is the curriculum of growth. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." If we want resilient kids, we must normalize failure as part of success. We must teach them to ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I improve? What will I try next?" A child who knows that mistakes are stepping stones will never fear the path forward. 2. Nurture emotional intelligence. Resilience begins within. Children who can name their emotions, express them constructively, and regulate their responses are better equipped to navigate life's challenges. Emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions, is not innate, it is taught and modeled. When a child feels sad, instead of, "Don't cry," we can say, "I see you're sad. Tell me about it." When a child feels angry, instead of, "Calm down," we can say, "It seems you're upset. Let's find a way to handle this." By listening and guiding, we give them the tools to handle life's inevitable storms. 3. Foster a growth mindset. Dr. Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset shows that children who believe abilities can be developed through effort and practice achieve more than those who see talent as fixed. A growth mindset makes resilience natural, because setbacks are not verdicts but opportunities. We must praise effort over innate ability. Instead of, "You're so smart," we can say, "You worked hard on this." Instead of, "You're a natural athlete," we can say, "Your practice is paying off." When children internalize the belief that growth is possible, resilience is inevitable. 4. Model resilience ourselves. Children learn more from what we do than what we say. If they see us face stress with panic, they will mirror panic. If they see us confront adversity with courage, they will mirror courage. When we make mistakes, let us admit them and show how we recover. When we are discouraged, let us share how we find hope. Resilient parents raise resilient kids not by perfection, but by authenticity. 5. Encourage independence and responsibility. Overprotection, though born of love, can cripple resilience. If we clear every obstacle, solve every conflict, and shield from every discomfort, children never learn how strong they truly are. Let them try, let them stumble, let them fix. Let them cook a meal, manage a schedule, budget a small allowance, solve a playground conflict. Responsibility teaches competence. Competence builds confidence, and confidence fuels resilience. 6. Build strong community connections. No child should walk alone. Resilience is not just inner strength, it is supported strength. Children who feel connected to family, peers, mentors, and communities are more likely to thrive in adversity. We must build homes of unconditional love, schools of belonging, and communities of trust. We must teach them that asking for help is not weakness, it is wisdom. 7. Teach values and purpose. At the heart of resilience is meaning. A child who knows why they are striving can endure almost anyhow. Let us ground them in values that outlast trends: kindness, integrity, courage, empathy. Let us invite them to ask not only, "What do I want to be?" but also, "Who do I want to be?" Purpose turns pain into fuel, struggle into story, and hardship into heritage. Parents are the first teachers, but schools and societies must echo the same message. Our education systems must move beyond mere test scores and cultivate the life skills of resilience. This means integrating social-emotional learning into curricula, creating safe spaces where mistakes are seen as part of learning, providing mentorship and counseling alongside academics, celebrating creativity, problem-solving, and collaboration as much as grades. As a society, we must also model resilience in how we address challenges. When children see communities working together, to rebuild after disasters, to support the vulnerable, to innovate for the future, they inherit the belief that resilience is not only individual but collective. One of the greatest arenas where resilience will be tested is the digital world. Social media, online learning, cyberbullying, global comparisons, these shape the identity of today's youth. We cannot shield children completely from this digital landscape, but we can prepare them. We can teach them to value real-world relationships above virtual validation, to question sources and think critically about information, to set boundaries for healthy screen use, to anchor their identity not in followers but in character. In a world where everything can be filtered, resilience comes from authenticity. The courage to be oneself, without the mask of likes and filters, is the resilience of the future. Let us remember that history itself is a story of resilience. Children of the Great Depression grew up in scarcity, yet many went on to build thriving communities. Young people in times of war carried resilience that sustained nations. Refugee children, though uprooted, often embody a spirit that inspires entire generations. And even in our own time, countless stories remind us: the child who overcame illness to pursue dreams, the teen who faced bullying but became an advocate, the young person who turned personal tragedy into a mission of service. These stories remind us resilience is not a theory, it is a lived reality. Raising resilient kids in a changing world is not an optional task, it is our greatest responsibility. Because one day, the world will hand over its challenges and its promises to the very children sitting in our classrooms, walking in our homes, playing in our neighborhoods. And when that day comes, may they not shrink back in fear, but step forward with courage. May they not see obstacles as walls, but as doorways. May they not crumble under pressure, but rise with strength. Let us give them roots of love and wings of resilience. Let us raise a generation that does not ask for an easy world, but prepares to make the world better. Because resilience is not only about surviving, it is about thriving. It is about transforming difficulty into wisdom, and struggle into strength. It is about creating children who will one day become adults who change the world not because it was easy, but because they were resilient. The world is changing. It always has, and it always will. But what remains constant is the human spirit, the ability to adapt, to grow, to rise. Our children are not fragile glass, they are living flames. And with the right guidance, that flame will not flicker out in the winds of change, but blaze brighter against the darkness. So let us raise resilient kids. Let us teach them to bend, not break. To hope, not despair. To rise, not retreat. Because in the end, the measure of our generation will not be the challenges we faced, but the resilience of the children we raised. Thank you.